Why do people have to acclimate before climbing Mount Everest? Climbing Mount Everest is no easy task, so it takes preparation to adjust your body properly. The pressure is greater outside your body than inside, at sea level, where we're all comfortable living in. This makes it easier for the lungs to fill, as well as helps to keep our heart rates and blood pressure at good levels. For example, water atmospheric pressure at sea level is good because it is thick and carries plenty of oxygen molecules. The higher in altitude you go, the lower the air pressure is. Gravity also keeps air pressure on the surface. As the atmosphere thins, there becomes less oxygen for our bodies to take in. Some people start to experience altitude sickness at around 8,000 feet, while at 18,000 feet there's half as much oxygen in the air as there was at sea level. Near the peak of Mount Everest, around 25,000 feet, there's only one-third the amount of oxygen in the air as there was at sea level. It usually takes a few days for somebody's body to acclimatize to higher altitudes. Your body will become more efficient at taking deep breaths, which will help in producing red blood cells. Altitude sickness is basically when your body is struggling to carry out normal functions with a lesser amount of oxygen than it's used to. When this occurs, the body panics and it increases the heart rate and breathing. Nausea, headaches, and dizziness are some of the lesser but more common effects that take place. Boyle's law describes the relationship between the pressure and the volume of a gas. Breathing occurs when the contraction of muscles around the lungs changes the total volume of air within the air passages inside the lungs. When the volume of the lungs changes, the pressure in the air in the lungs change in accordance to the Boyle's law. If the pressure is greater in the lung than outside the lungs, then air rushes out. If the opposite happens, then air rushes in. Now, these are some photos that put Mount Everest in comparison to other buildings and other activities such as commercial airplanes and the Eiffel Tower, and it puts its height into perspective. So also another picture of people in gear with oxygen tanks on their back and tents climbing Mount Everest, making that journey. And this basically explains altitude sickness and the other symptoms that could happen, and how important it is to take care of it as soon as possible. So, and also how important it is to acclimatize, yourself to higher altitudes before really climbing mountains. This is a picture, a graph showing the direct relation and proportion to Boyle's law and how the volume and pressure correlate towards each other. They're proportional. And then this is just a picture of lungs showing how it looks when you take a deep breath in. And that is why it is very important for people to acclimatize themselves towards climbing Mount Everest, because of how high it is compared to sea level and how difficult the journey can be.